To 58 a.m. Black Dolphin Prison, Russia. The silence here isn't peaceful. It's threatening. In cell 3C, a man sits on the edge of a concrete slab, fully dressed, boots on the floor, hands resting on his knees. He hasn't slept. He won't sleep. In Russia, death doesn't come with warnings. No final meals. No last phone calls. No countdown. When guards arrive at your cell, they read one sentence. And from that moment, you have 15 minutes left to live. The man in cell 3C is Sergei Kuznetsov, convicted of murdering 5 people during a violent robbery spree in the 1990s. He has spent 7 years on death row, every morning at exactly 3 o'clock a.m. He wakes up with the same thought: is today the day they kill me? What you're about to witness is the final 24 hours of a man trapped inside Russia's most feared prison. And what happens before sunrise will leave you disturbed long after this video ends. Before we step inside Black Dolphin, understand this: if you're interested in the darkest prison stories on Earth, the ones governments don't want you to see, make sure you subscribe. Most of you watching right now aren't. Change that. Now, let's open the gates. 6 o'clock a.m. sharp. A steel baton slams against the bars of every cell on death row. Bang, bang, bang. Vustavat. Wake up, Sergei flinches. Not because it's loud, but because every sound in this prison could mean death. He slides off his concrete bed. No mattress. No pillow. Just stone. His cell measures 6 feet by 9 feet. Smaller than a parking space. The walls are damp, stained with decades of despair. A single barred window near the ceiling lets in air so cold it burns his lungs. The temperature inside hovers just above freezing. This box has been his entire world for 7 years. At 6:30 a.m., every death row inmate is ordered to stand for inspection. But Black Dolphin has a rule unlike any other prison on Earth. Prisoners must face the wall. Hands behind their backs. Heads down. They are never allowed to look at guards. Eye contact is forbidden. Sergei presses his forehead against the concrete wall. It's wet, ice cold. He hears boots approaching. Slow, heavy. Deliberate. The guard stops at his cell. Paper rustles. A pen scratches a clipboard. No words. Just confirmation that Sergei is still alive, for now. The boots move on. This ritual happens every morning, not for security, but for control. At Black Dolphin, death row isn't about waiting to die. It's about being erased while you're still breathing. 7:10 a.m. A metal slot scrapes open at the bottom of Sergei's door. A tray slides inside. Breakfast. On it, a chunk of black bread, hard as stone, a bowl of watery kasha, a tin cup of lukewarm tea, no sugar. No salt. No choice. This meal is breakfast. It's also lunch. And dinner. Sergei eats slowly, not because it tastes good, but because meals are the only thing separating 1 hour from the next. Without food, time disappears here. When the tray is gone, human contact is gone with it. 9 o'clock a.m. Every death row inmate knows this hour. Executions in Russia happen between 9 and 10 a.m. This is when the execution team arrives. Sergei sits perfectly still on his bunk, ears straining. A door creaks open at the end of the corridor. Footsteps. His heart slams against his ribs. The boots stop. Not at his cell. They move past. Someone else screams. Begging. Pleading. The guards don't answer. 10 minutes later, the boots return. One less prisoner exists. Sergei exhales, shaky, hollow. Not today. 10:45 a.m. Exercise time. 2 guards appear at Sergei's door. Batons in hand. Vikody. Come out. They grip his arms and escort him to the yard. It's not a yard. It's another concrete box. 10 by 10 feet. 4 walls. A grated ceiling. 30 minutes. Sergei paces. 8 steps forward. 8 steps back. Over. And over. When the door opens again, daylight is gone. So is hope. 12:30 p.m. An envelope slides through the slot. Rare. Dangerous. The return address reads, Moscow. Supreme Court. Sergei's hands tremble as he opens it. One sentence changes everything. Your appeal for clemency has been denied. No date. No explanation, just confirmation that his death is approved. He crumples the letter. For the first time in years, he feels real fear. The afternoon drags on inside the death row wing. By 3:40 p.m., the prison feels abandoned. No guards, no voices, just the slow, maddening drip of water echoing through concrete halls that haven't felt warmth in decades. Sergei lies on his stone slab, staring at the ceiling. He's memorized it completely, every crack, every stain, every spiderweb fracture in the concrete. He's counted them so many times they've become numbers burned into his mind. 49 long cracks, 12 smaller ones near the corner. There is nothing else to look at. No books, no radio, no television. Russian death row prisoners are given nothing to occupy the mind. The boredom isn't neglect, it's strategy. The silence is designed to rot you from the inside out. Sergei can feel it happening. A pressure building behind his eyes. A low buzzing in his skull that never goes away. He closes his eyes, trying to sleep, but sleep refuses to come. It never does during the day. Then the silence shatters. A scream tears through the corridor, not pain, but rage. Animal rage. The sound of a man losing what little sanity he has left. Sergei sits up instantly, heart pounding, listening as the screaming turns into violent banging. Body slams into metal bars over and over again. The guards arrive within seconds. Sergei hears shouting, orders barked in sharp, clipped Russian, then the unmistakable sound of batons striking flesh. Again. The screaming collapses into choking sobs. Then nothing. Moments later, Sergei hears a body being dragged down the corridor, skin scraping against concrete. That prisoner is being taken to the punishment cells, a place inmates call the hole. Total darkness. Total isolation. Weeks without light. Many prisoners who go in never come out the same. Some don't come out at all. Sergei lies back down, staring at the ceiling, hands trembling uncontrollably. He knows it could be him next. At 5:00 p.m., dinner arrives. Black bread. Watery kasha. Lukewarm tea. Identical to every meal before it. Sergei eats without tasting a single bite. Food has become nothing more than fuel, a way to keep the body alive long enough to endure another cycle of waiting. When the tray is taken away, the slot slams shut, and the silence returns. At 7:20 p.m., footsteps stop outside Sergei's cell. A guard lingers longer than usual. This one is younger, crueler. He leans toward the bars, his voice low and mocking. I heard about your letter, he says. Sergei doesn't respond. He knows better. The guard smiles anyway. Soon, he whispers. Before walking away, boots echoing down the corridor. Sergei's jaw tightens, his fists clench so hard his nails cut into his palms. The guards know when executions are coming. The prisoners never do. That uncertainty is the real punishment. By 9:00 p.m., the overhead lights shut off. Only dim yellow bulbs remain, casting long, distorted shadows across the concrete floor. Sergei lies on his slab, wrapped in a thin blanket that does nothing against the cold. Outside, Siberian wind howls, snow battering the tiny barred window near the ceiling. Some prisoners freeze to death in these cells. The guards find them stiff in the morning. Sergei stares into the darkness, his thoughts spiraling. Tomorrow, tonight, in an hour. He doesn't know, and that's what's killing him. Sleep finally drags him under just before midnight, but it doesn't last. He dreams of faces, the people he killed, eyes wide with terror, mouths frozen in screams. He wakes gasping, sweat soaking his body despite the freezing air. The nightmares come every night now, more vivid than the last. Some say it's guilt. Others say it's the mind collapsing under isolation. Sergei doesn't know which is worse. He only knows there's no escape, awake or asleep. By 10 a.m., He breaks. Sergei curls into a ball on the slab. His body shaking violently, not from cold, from fear. Pure, uncontrollable fear. He presses his face into the blanket to silence his breathing. If he screams, the guards will come, and guards never bring comfort. Tears stream silently down his face as he stares into nothing. For the first time in years, something inside him cracks. Not because he's about to die, but because he finally understands what it means to be completely alone. At 5:32 a.m., dawn begins to creep through the barred window. This is the window between 5:30 and 9 o'clock a.m. Executions happen. If they're coming now. Sergei sits upright on the edge of his slab, fully dressed, hands behind his back, listening. The corridor is silent. Then, a heavy door opens at the far end of the wing. The execution door. Footsteps follow. More than two. Perfect rhythm. Sergei's blood turns to ice. The boots stop right outside his cell. 5:46 a.m. keys turn. The lock clicks. The door swings open. 3 guards stand there. One holds a piece of paper. Sergei Mikhailovich Kuznetsov. The guard reads in a flat, emotionless voice, by order of the Supreme Court of the Russian Federation. Your sentence of death is to be carried out immediately. Sergei's knees buckle. The guards grab his arms, holding him upright. You have 15 minutes. One of them says, 15 minutes to exist. They half-drag him down the corridor. Other prisoners watch through their bars in silence. Tomorrow. It could be them. The execution room is small. A chair. A concrete wall. Nothing else. A blindfold is tied tightly over Sergei's eyes. Darkness. At 6:01 a.m., he kneels, hands bound behind his back. He hears boots shift. A safety click. A voice asks if he has any final words. Sergei opens his mouth, but nothing comes out. There is nothing left to say. The order is given. A sharp crack echoes through the room. And just like that, Sergei Kuznetsov is gone. By 6:12 a.m. it's over. Sergei's body is wrapped in thick plastic, sealed tight, and carried out through a side corridor that never appears on prison maps. There is no paperwork read aloud. No witnesses. No announcement. In Black Dolphin prison, executions are treated like maintenance work, as something to be completed quickly and forgotten immediately. Every trace of him is erased. It's as if cell 3C was never occupied at all. Different face. Different crimes. The cycle continues without pause. At 8 o'clock a.m., the death row wing wakes up. Trays slide through slots. Maybe they heard the gunshot echo faintly through the walls, but no one speaks about it. Talking about executions is forbidden. The guards never acknowledge it. The prison administration never records it publicly. Sergei's name is removed from internal logs. His file is closed. His existence ends on paper just as completely as it did in flesh. His body is buried in an unmarked grave inside the prison grounds. No headstone, no name, just a number stamped onto a metal tag. In Black Dolphin, that's all anyone ever becomes in the end. Officially, Russia abolished the death penalty in 1996. But places like Black Dolphin still house prisoners sentenced before the moratorium and trapped in legal limbo, waiting years or decades for executions that may never come. Prisoners are kept in near total isolation, denied mental health care, denied human contact, and subjected to constant psychological pressure. Many lose their minds. Some take their own lives. Others simply wait, day after day, listening for footsteps in the corridor. The Russian government denies these claims. They insist the prison is humane, that prisoners are treated according to international law. Sergei Kuznetsov was a violent criminal. He caused real suffering, destroyed lives. No one disputes that. At what point does punishment become cruelty? Because in Black Dolphin prison, the sentence doesn't begin with death. And government silence. Make sure you subscribe. New cases every week. This is Black Dolphin prison. And this is what 24 hours on Russia's death row really looks like.